Hey, welcome everyone back to Crypto's News. It's me, Omar Bam, aka Crypto, and I just wanted to catch you guys up on what is going on in the crypto world today. As usual, remember to hit like if you enjoy this kind of content so you get more of it. Subscribe as well, and comment any thoughts down below. So to start off, let's discuss, we're just going to jump into it. Basically, prices have fallen back a little bit more to support. They still have a bit of room that they could fall further. Right now you see Bitcoin around 26,400. You have Ethereum down about 2%. Basically, Bitcoin has not been able to breach 25,000 bucks, but I think it's important that it doesn't just continue to smash through that, as I always say, these resistance levels, because it just would not be as sustainable as a gradual rally to the upside. So far I'm seeing all this is healthy. It's 1% down for Bitcoin today, 2% for Ethereum. You still have the stock market down as well, so they're kind of following that somewhat. But yeah, just this to me is just noise. I think I would stick with targets if I was you guys, and just dollar cost average if that's the plan. I think it tends to be a better one. And buying the dip, probably that kind of mentality is going to prove quite useful yet again. That's my theory anyway, not financial advice. In the news today, Polygon has announced that they are laying off 100 of their team members from different departments. They had previously restructured the company to put different arms together of it, but it looks like because of market conditions and so on, at least that's what they said, they're gonna have to lay off folks. They managed to raise recently like $40 million from 40 different venture capitalists, including Sequoia Capital and other big ones. They had raised quite a huge amount of money. They had like $450 million in their war chest. That has fallen down, and it's still worth quite a bit, about $200 million. They still have something like 1.9 billion Matic tokens. That's their native token of their layer 2 sidechain network for Ethereum. They still have quite a lot in their war chest, but I guess to continue on their map, as they said, toward Web3 and what they envision, and building that out, they are probably going to try to lose as little money as possible, as you're seeing with a lot of other companies. You had Gemini laying off 10% of their staff. You had Coinbase laying off something like 900 employees, a massive amount. Today's layoffs of Polygon amount to about 20% of their workforce, so they only have about 500 employees. It's a company started by 3 Indian entrepreneurs. But yeah, that's the latest rounds of layoffs that we're hearing. Another one that I guess could have resulted in layoffs, but instead resulted in just a straight, what people are calling rug pull, has to do with a popular NFT collection that was supposedly shilled by influencers, NFT influencers. Christie's back in March of 2022 held an auction for like an early mint of these NFTs, the Frenzies NFTs, which are supposed to be like, they were envisioned as some sort of Tamagotchi-like product. I don't know if many of you remember Tamagotchi growing up. They were like these little devices that you bought in stores. They were super popular in Miami, where I grew up. And I was like in elementary school, I'm pretty sure, for that. But you would buy these little things, and they would like be pets that you would feed and cuddle and hang out with. And though they were envisioned, this NFT collection, as being something that would eventually create some sort of a game like this. They would issue 10,000 of these NFTs, and Christie's, the biggest auction house, held an auction for 9 mints of these, super rare of them, early release. They were minting apparently for 3 ETH. So if you wanted one of these Frenzies, you needed to shell out 3 ETH. The team managed to raise 5.3 million bucks. They promised a treasury, a community treasury for future development. They promised a game, of course, and none of this seems to have panned out. There was an announcement that because of market volatility and conditions, the team will no longer be able to develop to the standards that they wanted to uphold. So they were putting a pause on the Frenzies collection. So naturally, investors were quite upset. They started tagging them, Frenzies, on Twitter. Users were getting blocked, and eventually the Frenzies Twitter account was completely deleted. So it looks like a straight rug pull. Money just gone, probably. You have whoever collected that money sitting quite happy somewhere, probably. Do you guys remember the creator of OneCoin? And apparently I found out that in 2018 she's like the most wanted woman in the world. She had apparently been dismembered in a boat and dumped off of the coast of some coast somewhere. She was dumped into the water, but then recently her lawyers like tried to sell her house. I was reading a little bit about that story, but quite wild. She's probably quite happy on an island somewhere too with her faked death boating accident. Anyway, to get back to the subject at hand, EuroC was one of these influencers who had been talking about this collection and had apparently made quite a sum for himself. There were others as well who made a lot of money out of promoting this NFT collection. So they're being hit with the spotlight right now. And he had this EuroC fella, this EuroC NFT influencer, has apparently a show called Rug Radio, which I think is quite appropriate since he was shilling a rug pull. Anyway, yeah, my condolences to anyone who might have lost money with a project like that. I can see why it might be attractive, something like Tamagotchi and games around that. But it's just another way of marketing it, because that's pretty much something like that is what so many other NFT projects are also shilling, but I guess they did it in their own unique way. $5.3 million down the drain. Another thing that might be of value to you might be hearing about something that was announced like 4 hours ago by Layer Zero Labs. I saw this on Twitter. So this was an announcement that you can now use their bridge. They've basically bridged to the Goerli Ethereum test network, and they have allowed you to basically use their pool to swap real Ethereum or mainnet Ethereum for Geth, Goerli Ethereum, testnet Ethereum, which you could get for free from faucets. But I'm hearing that the drip from faucets is basically so little right now. It's hard to get a substantial amount from any faucets, and people have been giving them away, asking developers and doing like OTC deals to get these test Ethereum, because if you're a developer and you're building out on for Ethereum and you want to test in an environment, you can use Goerli as one of those environments. There are others like Rugpull, but Goerli is one of the more it's a useful one. It's a popular one, and you might want to interact with other applications that are built out on that exact testnet as well. So anyway, now you can use their bridge to pick up Goerli testnet ETH and just straight buy it by going into their pool that they seeded with 12,500, I believe it is, testnet tokens, and they were selling for 10 cents each, basically. But from what I last saw, there has been quite a huge spike, because the last that I had seen might have gone up right now or gone down. I don't know. Volatility, obviously, something you would have to monitor with such a release like this. But it was selling, one ETH was selling for only 500 Goerli ETH the last that I checked. So substantially more than the initial price of 10 cents per token. So quite wild. I imagine there might be some sort of opportunities there for folks to take advantage of. And I wanted to let you know about that, especially if you did want to pick up some of these tokens. But the prices for them right now seem quite steep on this pool. But I like the idea. I like the idea and the efforts. Another thing that might be of use to you, especially if you're in Europe, is that you might remember the company Circle. They've launched the USDC stablecoin, which is probably the most popular stablecoin at this time outside of Tether and DAI for sure, top 3 coin. Well, they also announced, and we had announced on the show, that they were going to be launching EuroCoin. So basically a stablecoin that is pegged, instead of to the US dollar, it's pegged to the euro. That has been announced by Coinbase as going to be available on their platform on 2 different trading pairs. So EuroCoin, EuroC versus USD, or EuroCoin versus Euro. And that will be available pending liquidity and so on February 22nd. So stay tuned for that. It is, I think, more of a surveillance coin for sure. We do know it has blacklist features. It has the ability for funds to be frozen, if not maybe even confiscated. I don't think that they can confiscate, but they can definitely freeze funds at the behest of governments and agencies. Sorry, I dropped my phone there, so I will finish up the show here in this video, clipping it in. But anyway, I just wanted to give you a little bit more information on that coin, and the same thing as applies to those surveillance things to EuroC, also apply to USDC. And if you're using Coinbase, I figure it doesn't matter very much to you anyway. And so if this is of use to you, I just wanted to share that little bit of extra information with you. Another thing related to Coinbase, to go back to them, has to do with what they're calling a social engineering attack that I just found out about. They posted a blog post on February 17th in relation to this, but in a nutshell, what happened was Coinbase employees received a blow up. They received messages, text messages saying, hey, you need to log in with your employee username and password to receive an urgent message. So most of the employees were like, but one employee was like, what's the message? So he logs in and receives another message. He logs in through a text message after clicking on it, and he receives a message saying, oh, you can discard this, never mind, basically. So he thought nothing of it. Later on, receives a phone call, and the phone call is saying, oh, we're IT, we're information technology at Coinbase, and we need you to log in through your account so we can walk you through for this and for that. And the individual's like, oh man, okay, all right. God, this person's quite gullible, you could imagine. But anyway, they logged in again, and within 10 minutes as they started logging in of this attack by the exploiter, some other security arm of Coinbase found out about this. They stopped access because they noticed strange activity around this account, and they blocked it off, that employee's account, and they mitigated some damage according to Coinbase, I'm sorry there. But during that time, the attacker was able to get into some of the directories of Coinbase using that earlier employee's account and get names, email addresses, and phone numbers of employees of Coinbase, of certain employees of Coinbase. They said that this was not any customer information, no customer funds were lost, so they were quite happy about this in the announcement, Coinbase. But I think this is a serious situation because, well, not super serious, but you can see how one individual could be compromised or might be a little bit gullible at Coinbase, and this could lead to compromising of other information. And now that more detailed information like these names, phone numbers, and email addresses have been garnered by the attacker, they could be using that to get even deeper into Coinbase and do other sophisticated attacks, which is what Coinbase is calling this, saying that this has been something that they've been using to target other major companies as well. So anyway, just of course, continue to be cautious, because these kinds of leaks could mean more attacks on you guys through other ways. And if these are indeed sophisticated social engineering attackers manipulating people, then you also need to stay cautious. If someone like a Coinbase employee who receives a lot of training is liable to these, and you in a weaker moment might as well. So just keep your eyes open. Be careful out there. Coinbase did say that this might seem initially like a training issue, but I'm sure they do training, and they did say that it's also important, besides just training, to think about safeguards if something does go wrong like this anyway after training. So I do have to agree with that. It's good that they were able to stop this within 10 minutes or before deeper intrusion. And they're constantly being attacked, Coinbase. I mean, you could imagine with the amount of capital that they are safeguarding, why that could be the case. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. When you check it out, remember to hit that like button. As always, would super appreciate that. And thanks for the continued support. I'll be here with you guys, and I'm excited for what this, as the cycle goes through, this next era is going to bring for you guys. Take care, much love, and stay cryptic. Peace.